Thanks, Skip. Thanks, Christine. I also want to thank Mark McCullough. Is this, all right. I want to thank Mark, who's just given us a ridiculous amount of time in this campaign. He and his wife set up these tables that you see, and he's just always available. He's helping to lead us, and he's been great. And I wrote a speech. My plan was today at work to write a couple of key words and bullet points, and I ended up writing a speech that I kind of liked and didn't have time to memorize. So I'll apologize, as I'll probably be looking down every now and again. But good evening, and thanks for coming in this terrible weather. I know there's a middle school concert. I think a few people had to go to that. If you chose to come here and hear us and split up with your spouse, we appreciate it. That's what I did. I'm sorry I have to miss my daughter, but I'm glad my wife can tell me about it. But I'm going to hurry up because Mark asked us all to speak for less than 2 minutes, which, as some people know, is probably pretty impossible for me. But it's more a function of I really want to share information with people. And I think Jim, who was part of the GRBSA board, will attest that with me. And at the risk of being long-winded and giving too much information, that's what I prefer to do than shortchanging people. I think people really want to know what's happening and why. And that's going to be a big, that's going to help to define my mayoralty. And by the way, that is a word. I looked it up online. So now I feel I could use that, mayoralty, because it does make it easier to say things. But I do have many goals. If I was to start now, I would ask everyone to get a drink. But I'm going to focus on communication, since that's kind of what we're talking about here. And a couple of things, a monthly blog, simple thing for a mayor to do. I'll talk about what's going on. What is the mayor and council working on right now? Where are we on certain issues? People should know what's going on in the town, and it shouldn't be difficult to figure it out. We should have monthly minutes, bi-weekly minutes for the meetings, a little more available to us. We shouldn't have to wait 3 months to see the minutes. I don't know why that is, and I would certainly find out what the story is and why it takes that long to put the minutes up. People have a right to know. We're serving Glen Rock, and Glen Rock has a right to know what we're doing and why. Everyone's not going to agree with everything we do, but you'll know why. And I don't know that that's the case right now. I think that I've been asking people 2 questions in the last few weeks as you know, our real push for the campaign begins. What are the biggest issues facing Glen Rock right now? I get lots of answers. And I think, as I say it, I'm sure everybody here has 4 or 5 things that come right to mind. But then I ask, what is the current mayor and council doing about those things? And I tend to hear silence. And that's not to say that work isn't being done, but just the fact that people don't know what's being done, to me, is a problem. And I think that we need to work on that. So we need to get things done. We need to let people know what we're doing. And communication is key. As far as what I've done, you could read my bio, which is very small, so when you get home, put on your reading glasses and you'll see. I have a beautiful wife, Moya, who unfortunately is not here. She's going to try to come after the concert. 3 wonderful children. My oldest, Jeremy, is going to James Madison University next year. And I have a 9th grader and 6th grader. And I've enjoyed many years of being involved in the sports programs while my kids were playing sports. And I can't tell you how excited I am to now go beyond that. My kids are done. I've done my coaching, and I feel so happy moving on to the next level. And there's a lot of work to do, and we're going to spend a lot of time over the next few months talking about it. And I think more and more you'll see that we have the right ideas. And I want to thank Skip and Christine for running with me. I'm very lucky. You'll see we are a strong ticket. As they both acknowledged, Christine is very young, Skip is very old, and I'm somewhere in the middle. We touched on lots of demographics, and that's what we need. You know, we will represent Glen Rock, and we will listen, and we will act, and we will do, and we won't be afraid to make difficult decisions. Again, not everybody agrees on anything. You can't just not act because everyone doesn't agree. And anyone who goes to the council meetings has seen it happen. We're going to do this. Yeah, maybe we'll do this. Now let's move on to the next issue. We don't want any more of that. So again, thanks everybody for coming, and have a good night.